Ooh, boy. Now, first let me start off with this intro. Welcome back to the Growl, and I hate to be biased, man. I said when I started this show I wasn't gonna be biased, but you know what? I've been being humble all season long, and it just feels so much better when you're saying something, it comes to fruition. Now, I'm not gonna spend this whole episode just shitting on the Buccaneers like I should do, but especially with the way everybody been just gagging, just deep throating the Bucs all season long. And look, the Bucs are not bad. The Bucs not a terrible team. I've admitted that. A good ass team, And I said going into this season, the Bucs shouldn't win less than 10 games. Like it should be impossible for them to win less than 10 games. But, with them coming to our division, I'm sitting there like, man, did people forget that the Saints exist or some shit? Like, we still the kings of this shit, And I've been saying this all season. I said, yeah, the Saints been struggling. They've been looking pretty rough. But I said at full potential, the Saints are the better team. And now look at you. We have to come to your house and make a statement, pull out the brooms, and sweep that ass. Now, I will say this. I don't see that happening again. I don't see the Bucs losing like that again. But I've been saying this, man. The Saints are a better team than the Bucs. You don't win games just off names. That's not how this works. That's why it didn't make sense to me that so many so-called football people, that know football so much, just was ready to give them the crown. And that's what makes it so much worse when you lose a game like this. Now, I will admit, I didn't think it would be as bad as it was, I was expecting this to be a close game, honestly. And I even spoke about it in a preview that I feel like this game would be, it was going to be a tough one for the Saints, especially with the way we've been playing lately. That secondary has been struggling. But, man, the Saints put on the show, man. The Saints blew out the Bucs 38-3, and really it was a shutout. The field goal was just to not have a donut sitting on the scoreboard at the end of the game. And yeah, man, the Saints look dominant. I did not expect that at all. And that's me being a fan of the Saints. I didn't expect them to pull off a victory like that. So I will say, that shit was pretty impressive, and I would hope that the Saints will play like this moving forward because just what I've been waiting on. Just a team I knew they could be all season. So it's nice to see that. Do I expect them to do this every week? They can. But if you're a Saints fan, we might not see that again. They might go on a stretch where they play like that, and then come later in the season they might fall off. But let's just talk about the game, man. So coming into this game, the story was they had AB joining the Bucs, and about how unstoppable people seeing that offense being, adding AB, with the plethora of weapons they have on Tampa Bay. And the Saints, came to Tampa Bay and was like, yo, none of that shit mean nothing. Let us show y'all, we still here. Going into this game, everybody has been championing the Bucs so hard. Hardly anybody picked the Saints to win this game. And it's like, I don't have a problem with that, but it seemed like people was giving the Saints no shot at all. And it's like, hey, they proved the point. They made a statement, man. So let me just get into the game, man. Talk about a few stats and a few things that went on during this game. So on the Buccaneers side of things, the offense of the Buccaneers had 4 straight 3-and-outs where they couldn't get a first down. And when you're looking at that game, you're just like, okay, it's still Brady. It's still a crazy ass offense. They're gonna get that shit together. It kind of looked like when they played the Packers, how things were just going. Like the first 10 points the Packers scored, it was like, oh, the Packers might run away with it, and the Bucs turned that shit around, and ended up beating the shit out of the Packers. But so it wasn't a cause to pause or nothing like that at first. But then, it just kind of kept happening that way, man. And the Saints offense was like a well-oiled machine the entire first half. I'm not even say the second half, but in all honesty, they let off the pedal. Like, they didn't need the score point. This game was already pretty much over at halftime. The Saints put up 31 unanswered points in the first half. straight dominant, and it could have been a lot worse. Jared Cook fumbled at the 2-yard line, and I think he dropped a pass for a first down that had us like right there in scoring range. So it could have been a lot worse. But yeah, so the key to this game was the Saints defensive line or front seven was in Brady's face pretty much the entire game. Now they only managed to get 3 sacks, with Trey Hendrickson having 2 of those, which is crazy because Bruce Arians said that's the easiest person on that D line to block, and Trey Hendrickson has been having a breakout season, man. But yeah, that's was mostly the key to the game. They got Brady off rhythm, and he couldn't get settled and throw accurate passes the whole game. And the secondary plays surprisingly well. Now, we already know that when Lattimore plays against Mike Evans, he pretty much turns into the real Revis and not let him do anything. But still, like with those weapons, it kind of don't matter if you can't go to Mike Evans. You have a bunch of other people you could hit, but that shit just wasn't working out, The Buccaneers defense is another thing that was kind of weird for me, because they couldn't stop anything, and I have been saying that for a while now, that, yeah, that Bucs defense, it's not terrible. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. But I've been saying that secondary has shown you that it could get shredded. What happened with this game was, after the Giants game, you could see just how you could beat the Buccaneers. Really, you seen it in the Bears game too. But they didn't have those wasn't quarterbacks that could take advantage of the flaws of that Buccaneers defense, and Drew Brees took full advantage of it. I'm not even saying Drew Brees, Sean Payton took advantage of it as well. You're not able to really run on this defense from what the stats say, and the Saints managed to go out and rush for 138 yards. And you could tell like the defense was physically frustrated. So that was another thing that was kind of surprising to me. Like, and I already knew that you could throw on this defense. I didn't expect the Saints to just put on a clinic that way. Even though that's Drew Brees, we all know, watching that defense all season, nobody could have expected the Saints offense to just go on a tear the way they did. Even though, we got Mike Thomas and Sanders back. Still didn't expect that, this was a weird one, But like I said, man, as a Saints fan, I am honest enough to say that I don't think the Bucs are this bad. Now, do they have a lot of issues that needs to be addressed? Yeah, and I've been speaking about that a lot. They are a very talented team, but it is some things that can be exploited, and good teams will exploit them, and that's what you have to think about come playoff time. That's why it's like, I understand that's Tom Brady, 6 Super Bowls, he the GOAT. I respect Tom Brady. But let's be real here. That Bucs team wasn't a quarterback away from going anywhere. Now it does help that you have a competent quarterback that's not going to keep turning the ball over, even though Tom Brady, another big reason they lost, threw 3 interceptions. It was I think it was the worst game I've ever seen Brady play in my life, and probably his worst game in his career, and Drew Brees on the opposite side having the best game he's played all season, like by a long shot. It's not even close. So yeah, man, it's like I said, I think this Bucs team will be fine. Like, Bucs fans, as much as I don't know where the fuck most of y'all come from, y'all just kind of came out the woodworks, but as much as I despise the Bucs now, even though I never had a problem with the Bucs before this season. How fans start poking their chest out, when they finally start winning and shit. That's kind of how that's been. But hey, I salute that. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. But they've been pretty arrogant, with this team, and it just humbled them. That's basically what this was. So, like I said, y'all don't have nothing to really worry about moving forward. Of course, this team is going to be in the playoffs, and we might end up seeing the Bucs again in the playoffs. But they have to find ways to fix some of those issues they have. Like I said, that secondary has always been the weakest part of that defense. Even though, a lot of people just think I'm just shitting on the secondary when I say that. I'm telling you that they have been the weakest part. You watched them play the Chargers. Justin Herbert shredded that defense. Who else? Even Nick Foles found ways to, put passes downfield, even though the offense didn't do much. Daniel Jones, if he was a better quarterback, even though, I like Daniel Jones, it was so many chances to take shots down the field on the Buccaneers, and it's like, yeah, if you're playing Daniel Jones, he's going to make mistakes. He's a young quarterback. Drew Brees been in the league almost as long as Brady has, He's going to take advantage of every little mistake you guys make, So it's a few things they just have to work on in that sense. And also, I'm going to shoot Brady and the Buccaneers offense some bail. They only ran the ball 5 times. Really, it was 4, because I think 1 of 5 was including the kneel down. You can't win the game like that. Now, I understand it did go down pretty early in the game, but it wasn't so early to where, so bad to where you had to just completely abandon it. Think about it. The Saints were up 31-0 in the first half. Coming into the second half, the Saints only scored 7 points. Like I said, the game was over at halftime, but you could still attempt to run here and there, at least throw us off. And which is why, the Saints defense were able to pretty much shut down what they had going on, because it was like, y'all just not going to attempt to run the ball. Well, the D-line was just getting after Brady the whole game. And that secondary played a lot better than they've been playing all season. So, yeah, man, I feel like I kind of been rambling on about this game, because honestly, in the real sense, it's really nothing to really talk about in this game. It was just a good old-fashioned ass whooping. That's the best way to describe it. On every end of every front of the game, the Saints just spanked the Bucs, and it wasn't even close. They made it look easy, So what I would like to say about the Saints is, I don't know what they did to make a turnaround from how they've been playing for the last few weeks to this week, but hopefully y'all keep that up. That secondary the Saints usually been terrible with giving up penalties. They only had 3 penalties in the game. That's a lot lower than we've been doing all season, So they should keep that up. The Saints offense, play calling, Sean Payton called a damn good game on offense. Hopefully he keeps that up, because I think the biggest problem we had was that secondary and the play calling on offense. But like I said, the Saints are back completely healthy, and that should help moving forward. So yeah, man. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you, man. I told you guys, man. The Saints can. I even told some people they will sweep the Bucs. It's done now. The Saints with this win now sit at the top of the NFC South, and with this win they sit at the top of the NFC in general. They're the number 1 seed right now, with a pretty favorable schedule moving forward. Of course, we have the Chiefs coming up, but so do the Bucs. And watching the Panthers play the Chiefs, which was I'm gonna get into that, tomorrow in Sunday recap for the Sunday day games. The Saints could pull this off. I think they could beat the Chiefs. Now, it won't be easy, but they got a shot. If they could play their best football the way they did, Sunday night, they got a shot. Yeah, with that, man, I don't really have too much to say. The Saints came, they took their division back like, rightfully was. Brees took his touchdown record back, and Brady didn't even get him one. So this probably gonna be the only time I make this bias of a video, unless some other shit happened. But yeah, man, Humble Teddy just couldn't show up today, bro. I've been tired of listening to all these Saints slander and all this Buccaneer deep throating all season. It's like I needed this one. So yeah, man, that's all I got. With that, I'm out.